Greetings to the global cleaning community. My name is Jeff Cross. I'm the editorial director for ISSA Media, which includes Clean Facts, Cleaning and Maintenance Management, and ISSA Today magazines. Welcome to this episode of Straight Talk. Today I'm with John Nothdurft. He's the Director of Government Affairs with ISSA, and we're going to learn a lot about what you as business owners and those in the cleaning industry need as resources during this pandemic crisis. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
So good to see you. It's been a little while since we've been at the office. We're all working from home.
Yeah, it's been getting used to, but it's full days of a lot of stuff going on. So no day's the same, that's for sure. But a lot more video meetings for sure.
Like this one.
Yeah. Yes.
So I noticed you got a cool home office there, home-based office. That's a deer or a moose in the background with a pipe.
Yeah, I thought it was a moose when I bought it, but it's actually a deer, which is kind of disappointing.
Are you
but
sure
it's still
about
pretty
that?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just a
The
really
antlers,
big deer.
or some in the city would call horns. You know, they look like a moose to me, but it's been a while since I've been out in the woods.
Yeah, fair enough.
So John, your government affairs department has been busy. You've been with ISSA about a year, I believe, or?
Just over a year, yeah.
Okay. So I know you've been hearing things, seeing things. Tell us maybe a little recap of your past months of activities. What have you been concentrating on?
So, we've been building out our government affairs advocacy efforts since I started about 15 months ago.
Okay.
And quite frankly, it was very good that we did, and we got to the point where we could actually have an effect on the ongoing debate related to issues such as essential businesses at the state and federal level, the paid time leave, which is a big part of the second coronavirus bill, and then even in the third bill, which just recently got signed by Donald Trump, was issues related to small business stimulus package. And there's a whole host of other issues. I would say the number one issue, especially at the beginning, that we were really active in and proactive really, is the maintaining our cleaning is essential campaign that we've been running for the last about 2 weeks. Basically to try to make sure that the entire cleaning supply chain can stay open, because if you take one of those components out, it really doesn't work.
Yeah, it's a crazy world right now. I know that we'll get through this and things will settle down a bit, but right now our members, those who watch this, they're suffering. Some might be actually working and thriving, which is the case, but a lot of them are told, they're either told they can't work, they're not necessary, or their customers or clientele they're canceling their appointments. So we understand everyone's got different issues. So I do want to talk to you about a couple that I heard about and just get your response on. There was a message sent to me. There's a cleaner in Washington who, and I know you'll walk us through this in a little bit on a screen share, but there was a cleaner in Washington state who was sent a notice from the state officials that his cleaning business was deemed not necessary business. And, cleaning is important to keeping things sanitary. So I know your document you're sharing says that. What would you say about that situation?
So there's a couple things to keep in mind. As we'll go through, we do have some resources state by state. It's also locality by locality, and that's something to keep in mind, because while the states can have a set of businesses that they deem essential, New York City or Seattle can also impose further restrictions on businesses within their jurisdiction. So that's something to keep in mind. We've heard, say in California, the state has deemed cleaning the entire supply chain, including, end users, residential cleaners, essential. But I believe Santa Rosa is one of the cities that actually specifically says that residential cleaning isn't. Why? I don't know, but we're pushing back on some of those. So I would say definitely check our resources on our website. 2, if you have a question, reach out to us before you reach out to the government, especially at the state government, because we can try to be proactive on some of this. We also need to keep in mind that a lot of these executive orders are they're meant to be illustrative of the types of businesses that should remain. They're not very super specific. If they were specific to every job title and type of business, these documents would be hundreds, if not thousands of pages long. So it's really trying to find how to interpret these executive orders. We believe that Washington State, at least the one person who responded or sent this letter to our member, was incorrect in their analysis of it. Another aspect of it was Washington State was one of the first states to do a stay-at-home order, and they based their initial list of essential businesses off of the first iteration of the federal guidance. Well, we've actually been pushing back at them or the federal government to actually clarify, and we were successful in actually getting a section on hygiene and sanitation. So it's actually got its own sort of block at the end of the list. So the federal guidance changed after Washington State came out with their initial rules, which were based on the first iteration. So there's a lot of moving parts. As I said, if you have questions or if you're concerned, reach out to me at john.n@issa.com. I'm happy to follow up. As I mentioned, we're working on that Washington State issue with the legislature or the governor's office as
politicians, the politicians.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned hundreds of thousands of pages. We have time to read that right now.
Good point. Yeah, I mean, I felt like I've been reading 100,000 pages with the 3 coronavirus response bills at the federal level. So our summary is actually only 15 pages.
So you're worth every penny.
Right. Yeah.
To interpret that for us, because I don't want to read those pages myself. Here's another one. I'm not sure if you have some advice, but there's a cleaner in Michigan that sent me a note that he said that with his commercial clients, he does some medical facilities, that one of them said that, you're hired to clean this place. There's pathogens here from day one. Why should we do something different, or why should we pay you for a coronavirus cleaning? So we know that cleaning for the coronavirus is additional work. It's a different protocol. Is there anything you could share on that? Is there any angle or approach to answering that question?
Well, that's obviously more of a business question, and I think you have to deal with each client separately. Obviously, I don't think anyone wants to take advantage of a situation and try to monetize it during this time. I mean, we know our end users, our entire supply chain. We're out there to help, right? This cleaning company in Michigan is trying to do the right thing, but we need to be able to explain, whether it's to a hospital or any sort of business that we're cleaning, that this is a different deal. They should really get this, but you have to explain that to them. You got to walk them through and say, hey, this is a higher level. They could even take additional training of our cleaning personnel to do this correctly. They have to use specific products that we know are approved by the EPA as part of the emerging pathogen designation. So there are different protocols, and I think it's we can give you the advice and give you background on what products to use, get training from our GBAC, and all those types of things, but you really need to be able to package it and be able to explain that to your client of why this could cost more. It's more man hours, it's maybe more expensive product that they're using, all of these types of things.
Good advice. You mentioned GBAC, which is our Global Biorisk Advisory Council. Some exciting stuff happening with that group with training, so everyone needs to pay attention to some announcements coming up soon. I think what the issue is these customers are thinking bait and switch. They're thinking, you're asking for more money to do work that we think you should already do. So,
right.
So that makes sense. Well, John, it's great talking to you. I know that one thing we want to do as part of this broadcast is I'm going to make you the host, and you could share maybe some stuff that's going on with ISSA.com and the resources you have.
Sure.
So let me do that. Turn this over to you. And then you could walk us through some things that we need to see on ISSA.com to take advantage of.
Sure. So we have a lot of really great resources on ISSA.com. Obviously, I mentioned our Cleaning is Essential campaign. If you do have any questions regarding that, whether it's can I operate in my state? Is there Are there letters that I can give to my employees or my customers or even my vendors? We actually have those here as well. So that's all under the advocacy tab underneath regulatory material. That's our essential business resources portal. So you can bring up our state by state summary, which gives a brief background of the federal guidance, which I said is just guidance. So all these states have to implement it themselves. And some do have differing opinions or different takes at it. Either more, they make it more businesses included or fewer. So right now we have, I think it's about almost 40 states, and we update this every day. And so if you were wondering specifically about Alaska, you can click into Alaska and we'll actually take you right to the executive order. Now, I keep in mind some of these executive orders are pretty kind of confusing and difficult to read. So there is some interpretation, and this is not an exact science. I have to tell this to all our members who reach out saying, hey, this is new territory for all of us. These governments have never had to do this in recent memory. So some of the people who may not be the decision makers, but the ones enforcing some of this, don't really have a great handle on these lists themselves. So just keep that in mind. So we have all these different letters based on member class. We also have our act today to ensure the cleaning industry is declared essential. So I think that's continuing to go on. We also have our letter we sent to governors, and then our coronavirus government response updates. I do want to take everyone through our action portal,
Okay.
because this will be something that we will be updating consistently. I clicked right through the resource, but it's also in our Get Involved Advocacy Action Center. And this is really cool. So right now we have, this took us directly to our Cleaning is Essential campaign. And literally I can go in and type in some words about my business, why it's important. We already have some pre-written information. You put your name, email, street address, and zip code, and it will send it to all your president, vice president, U.S. senators, and state lawmakers in one click of a button, and you can tweet at them. So it's very quick. It takes 30 seconds. We're going to be running a lot of these types of campaigns. Right now, our two active campaigns is our Cleaning is Essential campaign, as well as our Become an Advocate for Clean. So if you want to stay up to date on everything that we're working on, or interested in participating further, receiving our emails, attending a future event, interested in our Government Affairs Council, this is a great place where you can just kind of plug in your information. We send no more than one email a week, and quite frankly, it's a lot fewer than that. So that's a really good resource. I think everyone should check in, and I think everyone should become an advocate for clean, because this is really important. It's your business, and government's doing a lot related to the industry right now and in the future. I think what we're doing is looking at a post-coronavirus economy and
Mhm.
what that looks like. And so, there was a lot of tension about what's going on here and now. They're already talking about a fourth coronavirus federal package. They're saying it could be an infrastructure bill. Well, I think cleaning's part of infrastructure. So we're going to do
Absolutely.
our hardest to try to make sure that we are well represented in that piece of legislation. So that's what we'll be doing. I'm sure we'll be having some alerts on that issue. One last thing I did want to show is under our regulatory material. This is our coronavirus government action or government response FAQ. And this is basically all the questions I've been getting and other people at ISSA have been getting related to various responses. So essential business, which we already went through, paid sick leave, small business assistance, how do you get it? Are
Mhm.
you qualified? What does that mean? Disinfectant products, what types to use, which ones, how to use them. Unemployment benefits, protecting workers, and ISSA advocacy efforts. So it's I mentioned the 15-page document. This is only a 5-page document, but what's really cool is it's very short. So, hey, is my business or job considered essential under state and local stay-at-home orders? We give you a very quick and then a link to find out more information. So I think this is a great document. We're updating this routinely. If you have questions, this is the best place to go to get your questions answered. And then obviously, if we're not answering them, reach out to us.
Very cool. It's neat to see what you're doing, and I can't imagine the hours you put into this to get this done. So, um,
Well, it's not just me; it's a team. Obviously, it's a small team, granted, but we have a team, and we're out there every day trying to push forward. Advancing the way the world views cleaning, and really our kind of subhead of that is changing the way policymakers view cleaning. Because I think in the past they really haven't viewed it. It's kind of a side point, right? But I think we're going to be front and center. We're going to be the bells of the ball, if you will, moving forward. And I think we need to take it, not necessarily take advantage, but I think we need to take this time to let our policymakers understand why our industry is so important and how we can help moving forward.
very cool. Well, John, I do appreciate it. If anyone who's watching this should become a member of ISSA, and but this information is for the entire industry. So great work. Let's do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. Talk to you later.